We go live to Caracas in Venezuela as President Nicolás Maduro is about to provide an updated report to international observers that are gathered here at the Palacio Blanco, a report regarding the second general consultation that was held on Sunday, this last Sunday that just passed, where Venezuelans from the different communes took to the polls to elect their priorities of the projects that will be implemented in every community independent in accordance to their needs. This process of exemplary and true participative democracy as has been established by President Nicolás Maduro. The first one took place earlier this year when citizens from different communes in Venezuela from all over the country went to vote for the projects that the government is going to invest in to provide these benefits to the people living in these different communities in Venezuela. And first, it was established that the elections will be held every 6 months, but now there has been a change since they have seen as a great necessity of the people to have these elections. It will be every 3 months now that the communes of Venezuela will go to the polls and elect and choose which priority projects are going to be invested in. On Sunday, as we were saying, was the second national consultation that where all the communes were voting over the more than 27,000 projects to choose in every commune. They had a different choice out of 7 projects, ranging all the way from education, infrastructures, health, the sewage, water, drinking water supplies, all these different projects, and the people, in a direct exercise of democracy, they choose where that funding, that money, is going to be invested for the benefit and the well-being of the people as a whole. This is what we are seeing here is live images in Caracas as President Nicolás Maduro is welcomed by international observers and different authorities and officials gathered here at the Palacio Blanco, where a final report, a final brief is going to be presented by President Nicolás Maduro in front of all these delegates, officials, and authorities, and also the international observers that were also present here on last Sunday for this voting day, where the different communes chose their prioritized projects to be implemented in the coming month as Venezuela continues to work for the recovery of its economy and socio-economic life after being one of the hardest hit nation by illegal and unilateral sanctions imposed mainly by the U.S. government and its allies from the European Union. We are seeing live images as President Nicolás Maduro is welcomed to this activity with cheers and with screams of joy and support as the people have gathered here to continue supporting this Bolivarian revolution as it continues to work and thrive for the recovery of the socio-economic life of Venezuela as a whole. We are seeing President Nicolás Maduro right now holding dialogues with different commune leaders that are here present before the President delivers this final declaration or this final brief on the results of the experience and everything that happened this Sunday during the voting day that the communes, people from all over Venezuela voted for those prioritized projects that are going to be invested in for the benefit of the people as a whole. This is an action that has been described by many as a true exercise of democracy. That is the people that is constantly voting and deciding the course of action of the Bolivarian nation of Venezuela. We can say if we add these 2 national consultations to the count, Venezuela has had over 33 elections, I believe now, over the years of the Bolivarian revolution since the early 2000s. So we continue listening to how President Nicolás Maduro is being welcomed by the different authorities and leaders of the communes in Venezuela here in this location, and the President continues to share the experiences and points with the leaders of the communes, and as they continue to work with all these projects that were voted in for the government to start funding and provide all these necessary solutions for the problems that the people are facing today, especially coming from the unilateral sanctions that have been imposed on the country that have hit very harshly the economy and the social life of the nation. But little by little, Venezuela has been working in the past 5-6 years to recover step by step all the productive units, all the production of the different fields, the oil industry, the agricultural industry. Little by little, Venezuela has been recovering all these sectors to have today a more strengthened and resilient economy and socio-economic structure. We continue to see the president here in Caracas live as he continues to greet all the different officials and authorities that have gathered here as they are preparing to present this final brief of the elections that were held last Sunday. We are seeing in this exchange of words, we can see how these leaders, these authorities, are continuing to express their support and commitment with the Bolivarian nation. All these people that are being greeted by President Nicolás Maduro, the community leaders from the different areas of the country, and they continue to reaffirm that they are on the right track to the prosperity and for the reconstruction of the Venezuelan model that wants to be built, that has the values, the ideals in its foundations of Simón Bolívar, the great liberator, and continues with the ideals and the path set on by the commander of the Bolivarian Revolution, Hugo Rafael Chávez Fría, a torch that was passed down to Nicolás Maduro, and he continues to work alongside its people, the Venezuelan people, as we have been saying that Venezuela is probably the nation that votes the most. They vote for everything, and they will continue to do this. Now we have scheduled that in 3 months' time again, the communes, the people, will once again go to the polls to continue strengthening and continue voting and deciding on which projects they are going to be investing in, the projects that are of the utmost priority for the different sectors, since they are the ones in those sectors, in those communes, they are the ones that know the best what is the most needed actions to be taken first. And this is the idea, that the people from the first hand are able to decide what the future is, what the future action for their communities has to be in order to solve the prioritized issues that are harming the population. President Nicolás Maduro is arriving to the table where he will begin addressing everyone gathered here at this site and everyone watching live on our screen and on different social platforms. We are listening to the people present here saying chants of support for the president of Venezuela, Nicolás Maduro, and he's speaking. Let's listen.
The great Ezequiel Zamora, our general of the sovereign people. Long live Zamora. Zamora is our force, is our strength, our light, our truth, our inspiration. Zamora is the concept of the new federalism, the unity, the deepening unity of the popular and military powers. Zamora is maybe one of the pioneers, one of the socialist pioneers of the history of Venezuela. He had a great, we were very influenced by him, and he had a great influence of the European socialism, and he was deeply marked by the ideals of Bolivar. His father, Captain Alejandro Zamora, fought in the army of the liberator Simón Bolívar. When he was born in 1817, Venezuela was amid the revolutionary hurricane in the process of foundation of the Great Colombia, and in the process of establishing the new independent state, which was founded in Orinoco. There, in the edges of Orinoco, which allowed to found the great Republic of Republics, the Great Colombia, which is today Venezuela, Panama, and Colombia and Ecuador. It is a great nation. It was a great nation of republics. That was the concept of Liberator, to build up a great nation of republics. And he saw that the whole a great homeland for us, the homeland is the Americas. It was always like that for liberators. In his first declaration of 1811, they always have the concept of our great homeland. And so Bolivar had the responsibility to free the south of Venezuela, our Guyana, to declare the 8th star, and as of that, in 1817, he initiated his journey, who took him 200 years ago to the liberation of Americas with the Battle of Junin and Ayacucho. In that era, the child Ezequiel was born. His mother, Paula, one of the communes is named after Paula, mother of our great general of the sovereign people of Zamora. And he took the ideals of equity, which was always in the struggles of the Venezuelan people. Ezequiel Zamora was a radical Democrat. He was a man who urged for the deepened freedom. He launched the 3 slogans of the revolutionary struggle that he led, and of the revolutionary war that he won. A kind of Emiliano Zapata in the 19th century of Venezuela. In Venezuela, he built a popular army, the second popular army of our history. The first one was built by Bolivar, who got from Junin to Ayacucho. The second one was created by Ezequiel Zamora, with the black people, with the indigenous, with the poor, with the white poor, with the farmers deprived of their lands, with the ordinary people. This army defeated the professional army of the oligarchy, of those powerful last names. They were just knocked out in front of the army of our grandparents, the great army of Ezequiel Zamora. That's why in that era the tradition was imposed. A bullet killed him in 1860, but his example cut across, and history, they said that history is written by the winners. Do you know about that? The history is written by the winners. And by that time, treason triumphed. The oligarchy of last names was allied to weakened sectors who were at the Federal Revolution of Zamora. So they nurture conspiracy and ego and ambition of 2 or 3 surrounded by Zamora, and they participated in his assassination on January 10th, 1816 in San Carlos. There it is, its legend, his spirit. So treason was over the history, and so traitors presented Zamora as a delinquent, as a criminal, and the same they did with Emiliano Zapata, Pancho. In the history of each of our countries, present as criminals the revolutionary people, the ones who seek justice, the ones who seek equity, those who represent the poor people, as Eva Perón said, those who represent men and women on the streets. They call it as terrorists, as criminals, but history was kept as a legend among the peoples. It was disseminated orally, people by people, and it was rescued by outstanding historians as Brito Figueroa in his work Ezequiel Zamora. And history arrived at the hearings of kind people, of generations by generations, till it occurred what it had to occur, that because the image, the symbolism, the name, and the original project of Ezequiel Zamora was reborn with the arrival of our commander Hugo Chavez as an irreversible leader of a revolution projected for the 21st century, that on February 4 in the 90s, with his slogans, long live freedom, 3 slogans they launched: popular elections, terror to oligarchy, lands and free men. Today it is land, women and men, and free women and men. We have here some caps. This cap was given by the delegation of Brazil. It is beautiful, isn't it? Because we are followers of Zamora, Vladimir Padrino Lopez, and as Zamora followers, we received the movement Without Lands of Brazil, because saying movement without lands is like saying Ezequiel Zamora. I am going to put it here to preside this great meeting, this paramount meeting in this room, so beautiful, so breathtaking, of the Palacio Blanco, of the presidential Miraflores Palace, in which we have a happy day, a breathtaking day, because we carried out the second national consultation for deciding the projects of communal circuits. A day of intense work, of participation, of popular decision. We can believe that things fall from the sky. From the sky fall rainfalls, but also blessings. We as Christians asked for blessings from heaven, and so they arrived many blessings from. So we only have to pray and ask with faith, with pure heart, for continuing arriving blessings in Venezuela. We will continue triumphing over the evil, over the demons, over the demonizing oligarchy. It is a spiritual struggle, of course, and we are winning. In the spiritual plan, we are just winning over those demonizing surnames regime's oligarchy, but the social processes of organizations and empowerment, they last they have to last for years. It is a fair and right idea to build up a new democracy. Time is needed for its implementation, for its explanation, for its development. If it is always new, if it tries to disrupt from that elites of those and liar democracies, it is always going to be a rehearsal. Some say that it may be a mistake, but we rather say that it is a rehearsal and learning, because in each rehearsal turns out to be a learning. Since our dear commander Hugo Rafael Chavez Frias launched the proposal based on the grounds of Constitution, on the grounds of the concept of building up a state, a social state, a democratic state of rights and justice, building up a new democracy, a new participatory and protagonist democracy, taking into account lawyers, Madam Vice President Delcy Rodriguez for consultation, Dr. Celia Flores, who is also a lawyer. It is a mandate of Constitution that the Venezuelan state, that the national state, has to be a state of rights, of justice. Not only it has to be in the old proclamation of a state of rights, of a state, it has to be a state of justice in the broader sense of justice, of social justice, of economic justice, political justice, and it has to be a democratic state, a democratic and social state with a new concept of participatory democracy and protagonist democracy. The first time I read the concept of participatory and protagonist democracy was here on this book, on this blue book, written by our commander Hugo Chavez Frias in 1990. We have already talked about this affair. We have to search, to multiply this book by thousands. This material. I am very pleased about of this book, because we have to. I liked a lot of the printed book. But we have to come back to the printing. New generations read by cell phones, but there are studies that it is not the same attention. It is not the same learning of the material content from of a book read if we read it with our hands, that if we read it on the cell phones or on a laptop. It's not the same. So let's prioritize the printing of this book, and the partner Del Prado, Minister of the Popular Power of the Communes. We have to share, we have to deliver. It is kindest to say deliver. We have to deliver, to hand over 2 million or 3 million books in the Bolivarian Armed Forces. Each soldier from the Bolivarian Armed Forces must receive the book blue printed. The whole people must receive the blue book, but So if you wonder, brothers and sisters of Argentina, Brazil, Mexico, Cuba, Uruguay, El Salvador, the United States of America, Africa, if you ask me, where can we find the first expression, the first grassroots of the Bolivarian project of the 21st century? Here it is. It was written by Chavez in 1990, and it is entitled The Blue Book. And I've been always impressed because when it arrived at my hands in 1992, a wrinkled sheet of paper, we just printed it. We just managed to have several, all photocopies. How can we call it today? Just copies? Or you scan it? Well, there you grab here and you take a picture. I'm going to send you a photo of something, and so you take a picture, and that's it. The world changed a lot, but if we could just have 2-3 million of printed books, I think it is not that hard. Let's take this goal, and for you to see where is the participatory democracy concept. Where is the concept that sovereignty lies in the people? Who wrote it? Who wrote that concept? Chavez or the oligarchies? Who wrote it? The revolution or fascism? When we, constituents of 1999, swimming, going against all odds, and we achieved to manage to write this constitution, the Article 5, from the hands of Chavez, from the people. The oligarchies were against this constitution, the same ones that today, as the evil, intend to manipulate once again the constitution. They urge people to vote against these seven marvels of humanity, our constitution. They came out to discredit it, and they just commenced their terror campaign against Article 5, against communism. And so Chavez, Article 5, the one who enacts it, who vindicates the Article 5, is Chavistas automatically, because the Article 5 is the essence of our path of Chavez's legacy. So it says sovereignty lies in the people. Those who exercise it in the Constitution and in the laws directly from the communes, from the popular powers. So it is. So the oligarch people just were frightened by this, and so that's who tried to destroy this girl, this constitution, before being born from the womb of her mother. Who tried to destroy this constitution? Those fascists who were the far-right opposition of that time, who then turned into fascism. They couldn't destroy it. She was born on December 15, 1999. Who tried to kidnap it and assassinate it? Who? The old decrepit man of Pedro Carmona, who is a criminal, murderer, who break down the constitution and powers, and he tried to eliminate Bolivar with our Bolivarian character, and who tried to manipulate to attend coup d'etats, and they spoke about the 350. Do you remember? Is it 350, right? Well, here the ones who want a democratic social democracy homeland are the ones who matter. So it is a process of rebirth of the idea of implementing the proposal, and so Venezuela is mature enough for us to do what we are doing, to build up the new democratic state, but talking about direct democracy. So what happened on Sunday, the second consultation, shows that we are on the right track. We are on the right side of history. We are on the right side of history, my comrades. So it's been marvelous. I would like that partner Angel Prado gives us an account for being updated. And this meeting I have summoned today on August 27, because I wanted to give this account alongside you, and just to take the responsibility that we need to be committed, because this path, at least one trimestral consultation that being expressed in the assemblies of bases, because these are projects made by you, by the people, to express in participation and democratic direct expressions once every 3 months, because they are the beginning of a more vivid, more direct democracy, and the construction of a new government system in which the whole government have to go to the territories, to the communes, to govern from the territories, from the communal circuits, from the communal councils. That's the proposal, the vital proposal that we made. We made the seven proposals of more changes, more transformations on the path of Zamora's revolution, Bolivarian revolution, Robinson's revolution, humane, socialist, Christian revolution, taking the steps of Chavez. That's the right path, the necessary path. That's the impending track for Venezuela. And for this, we are going towards the process of speeding up those changes that have been delayed due to several reasons that lead us to replicate bureaucratic methods. And so we must develop leadership without any so that lead us to develop a bureaucratic, shallow, and unrealistic governmental system. So we have to go to another track. So we need to make the needed changes, the needed transformations for making Venezuela better. Well, President, thank you very much. Greetings to the whole country. So we arrived here from a big socialist party. So, as you said, on January 10th, at the assassination of General Samuel Zamora, in which the oligarchy tried to defeat the people, so we are just emerging with strength. And so on Sunday, it was a day in which all the people meet to 4,508 communal circles went through consultation, and there were 500. There were 3 circuits that were made up at the latest time, and so it is a good news. It goes growing. It is growing, and so there the leaders of communes they were embracing, and even people who didn't share our opinions, they went to the polls because they are interested in sorting out our problems. And this method that you have claimed to deepen that marks your 3rd term in office, and so we are setting the basis for building up our own democracy. Beyond being criticized, we, the Venezuelan people, defend, and we think that it is much better, our democracy, that it doesn't stay to privatize the houses and the education. So these are models. Who cares being criticized? The Venezuelan people expressed within joy, solidarity. They are will to build up the new. So you have the support of the people, and so we are just boosting projects and finishing projects, and we are getting ready for initiating new projects, and it is being pursued as the new form of making policies. So we welcome the international observers in the polling stations with a lot of joy, and so here we received the dancing with people and so the same people were just broadcasting how happy they were. And here in Venezuela, there are people who knows how to make popular communication. So we've got an account in these 4,508 circuits in which the people voted with hope and confidence. Don't lose the statements that you are making and the visits that you paid last week. And so the 20% of the approved projects were for the integral management of water and for rehabilitation of educational steps and for the rural and the urban roads, and for environment 6% for the construction of. So we have so far 93% of the tally sheets with the information, and so there is missing some rural areas for us to report because of internet problems, but we have the majority of the results. It was a date in which the democracy was expressed and the spirit of the people was expressed. So amid threats, so we don't vote for burning down anyone or anything, but we voted because we want to make improvements and to transform our communities. And so we are prone to big changes, big transformations, and we are the people of Venezuela is celebrating this process, and revolution will be reversible. There's no coup d'etat. We are on the right. We are on the revolution track, and so here, socially, economically, spiritually, conditions are just there to build up the communes in Venezuela. So, communes or nothing. That comes from the Bolivarian slogan of independence or nothing. No one can think that we can be ever again colony. Independence or nothing. It's our slogan. The slogan of Miranda and Bolivar and of the whole Venezuela. So there on October 2012, Chavez took that spirit and said what he said, that we were given the task given the task of those communes or nothing, and so we are on that track, and we are mature enough, we are more mature to get to this point. And Angel said it, and I ratify it. I am going to make some renovations of the half of the executive cabinet. I am going to make the needed changes to complement the forces, to balance the forces of the Bolivarian Popular government of Venezuela, and give the order that in this phase, in this open stage with the victory of July 28th, is the time of transforming a new. It is the time of a new governmental system that disrupts with shallowness. Enough with shallow. It is enough for lies or deceitfulness. The people knows what we have to do. So we are at the service of the people, for the people to tell us the right path with its wisdom. Here, a group of partners of Argentina gave me several books. This book, and last night I was reading it. What is Peronism from by Marcelo Corrin? Do you know him? This book? There is the cover. It is a fat man on a march, and he has several tattoos: the great Peron, the great Eva, and our Jesus Christ. And I was reading there in the morning, and there are lots of similarities, of historical similarities. And I was reading that it has a preamble very good, and I know I just they gave me that yesterday, and I found here. Look what I found, but because it's a very currency, it is that is, if it is something that is crystal clear in Peronism, is the value, the determined value of the state, even if it is not, even if it is not being absolute in the structure of power. It is not exhausted in the state, but it has a pivotal core. We are talking about the state, the debate between the national state and the colonial state. The national state is the one that we want to build, transform, consolidate, that guarantees the independence of the country, its development, and the colonial state is that the state that Milei is mounting in Argentina to destroy the economy, Argentinian identity, and everything they have to deliver to the powerful of the powerful of the North and the Zionism. So it has a fundamental core. It is true that the power is not taking over. Instead, it is built up in the dialectic combination of resistance, but one of the main places in which power is built is precisely in the state, in which it is projected the society based on the past and the present. So this is very interesting because it reminds us of the Chavistas' doctrines, and it is drawn here. The popular grassroots. It is a strong state that have constituent powers, and so Venezuela projects so today a strong legislative power at the service of the nation. We have it at the service of the people. A judicial power, a strong judicial power, and independent judicial power, independent from the U.S. embassy, because judicial powers, like in Argentina, claim to be independent, but they are dependent on the U.S. So we have to be independent from oligarchies. So it is a permanent process of transformation. So we must go to communities to settle problems, to sort out problems. That's the path. A moral power, a very active moral power, as the Republican Council in Venezuela, and a prosecutor's office which is recognized, and it is acting, led by an outstanding lawyer, defender of human rights, like the poet Tarek William Saab. And that's the third power. A fourth power, a unique fourth power, brought from the Bolivar's ideals when he wrote the Constitution. He wrote a draft of Constitution for Bolivia and presented it before the Bolivians. It is a beautiful history. We were an only army, free in the South, but treason prevented it. And there it is Hugo Chavez. The project, the Constitution, the electoral power, that it has to be better, it has to be more strengthened, and it has to be built, taking into account the people. And so an executive power as the vanguard of the national trend in history, at the hands of a revolutionary power and a president as president as it is Nicolás Maduro Moros, with a project of transformation, of accelerated project of the Bolivarian state. And what is the state that we want? To the working teams, this state that we want to build, we have to draw it at the light of experience, with taking into account the Constitution and the people's voice. Let's open doors to debate with the people. What forms of government do the people want? I am going to appoint a new government right now. I am going to say it. Do I tell it? Shall I? And immediately we must summon multiple journeys and multiple days. Delcy and Prado, you are in charge of scheduling multiple working agendas for us to come to communal assemblies in the communes to listen to the people, because we need to know the changes the people want and that they are willing to lead from the basis. We have a very clear guidance. We have a guidance. So let's go with our guidance, with our guide, and you guide us too, because you need to tell us what you know. And many people say, President, we are advancing in some issue, but we missed this one. You know what, in which project you are advancing and in which not, because you are leaders, you are brave leaders, decisive, convinced leaders who give your life for your family, for the homeland, for your community. So you know what is the path that you must take to let aside the ancient time, the ancient era, and to begin the new transitional socialist era ahead to the new transition time to socialism. You know it. So neoliberalism and savage capitalism want to destroy the national state and constitute a misery state, a colonial state. Some people may say a new colonial state, but no, because Milei is not building up a new colonial state. Milei is building up a colonial state. He is delivering Argentina to imperialism, to Elon Musk, to Zionism. He is placing its pieces for natural resources, oil, lithium, and fertile lands, and in the hands of the US, of Zionism. So he's destroying the concept of government, of state. He's destroying laws, social rights, destroying public education. Gabriela, destroying science and technology. Even Argentina is one of the most advanced countries in the continent, and he is saturating on social media as Elon Musk controls Instagram, TikTok, X. So they are just controlling the social media, and so they are saturating and poisoning social media. And so I am sure that in the Argentina of Perón, of Evita, of San Martin, and Diego Armando Maradona will be giving a surprise to Milei earlier than late. I am very sure about that, because in the meantime, as they want to install a colonial state dependent, and we are on the advanced stage in the construction of a new democracy, of a new participatory, protagonist and direct democracy, popular democracy, democracy of the people. and of a new system of a new governmental system. I have made lots of efforts to install a new governmental system. Let's give another new opportunities to. They didn't work out. They ended fighting. Everyone we posted there, it was Arriaza, executive vice president. So there they witnessed the fights, the clashes, because leaders were fighting over an empty bottle, and that's not the method. I am already convinced about that. Fake illusions, Maduro. Lousy illusions of an utopic dream. But, well, we learned rehearsal and learning. Some people say rehearsal and mistakes, but we say rehearsral and learning. I am convinced that today, more than ever, that these 4,508 communal circuits that in turn articulate we place it with a maturity for giving the great jump for a direct governmental system in which all resources are allocated to the people, and we have the system in some places will advance faster. Where these projects be advancing faster, in which more organization be, in which the community participates more, in which more decisions be made with taking into account the basics, in which authentic leaderships be built. My dear compatriots, men and women, in which the new values of solidarity advanced more. As Ángel Prado said, we summoned the people on Sunday to decide the fate of projects to improve their communities, which is to improve the life of their families, and we summon with love, with affection, with democratic spirit, and we have never summoned the people to violence, to hate, to uprisings, was guarimbas. We summon the people, as Simón Bolívar said, and Simón Rodriguez, we summon the people for the great, for the beautiful, to draw our present and to visualize that future that has to be democratic, that has to belong to the people, and that's why we are here, to build up a new state. So the far right of those fascist surnames, which has in its ideology hate, division, which urges to kill openly, because it is a hidden message, the slogan that the far right opposition have launched. They call to kill. That's their slogan for inoculating killings, violence, and that the far right announced it in English, and they published it on the US at the US. Their plan is to disappear the national state, to disappear the Constitution of 1999. Their plan is to divide Venezuela and deliver Venezuela as a colony to the US. That's their plan. But the plan of the majority of the Venezuela is peace, is love, work, is prosperity, advance on the path of a new democracy. We are condemned to peace. We are condemned to success. We are condemned to win. Venezuela always wins. That's our slogans. Our slogans are of life, love, truth, and so our slogans must be made realities. So I would ask two questions to Vice President. I am ratifying Delcy Rodriguez as Executive Vice President to continue doing her outstanding work, speeding up the changes and transformations. Delcy is a woman who likes walking on the streets, on the neighborhoods. By walking, a tree fell on her, and she was behind the tree, but she survived, and survivors began to shout, "Delcy, where is Delcy?" And she said, "Here I am." And so the first thing she did was to call me, to make a call. And she, "President, a tree fell on me. Go ahead, Delcy." And so she went ahead. So Delcy, when, how, at what time do we begin to deposit the money for those projects approved on consultation start? So on Sunday, there were the resources were allocated through the needed authorities, and we are ready to finance all the projects as of today. As of today, yes. So a consultation every 3 months for you to have 12 weeks, 3 months, just a goal for a deadline for meeting the goals of the projects. And so if we are tackling with some problems in some places in which the resources were not enough to finish the work, and I want to know what places occurred that to complete the investment and for them to finish their work as soon as possible. So all of this we are doing it, sharing resources, are making big efforts. It's a military concert that Commander Chavez taught me. My brothers, soldiers of Venezuela, you know what is to make big efforts. You do magic with investments. It's a concept taught by Hugo Chavez in Barinas, 1995. It's been 29 years passed by, and it's been a long but beautiful route. What comes after, it is even more beautiful for Venezuela. And so now pay attention. I know what is to do magic, to make big effort. So you multiply the stories. You do like our Sir Jesus Christ that multiplied bread and fish. So you multiply resources, as it happened in Araira. I went to Araira. The people of Araira, my neighbors of Araira, I am going to moving out there at the mountains, and I received the Coca-Longa. I said to the minister, Gabriela, I have Gabriela. I have the Covalonga. Where is it? That seed of the Covalonga plant. They call it Covalonga. Covalonga plant. It is a medicine plant that helps to heal asthma, diabetes, and thousands of diseases more. And there, as you see it, it served as an amulet, but so it gets you rid of negative energy. I don't say it. Someone told me, and maybe it is true. Maybe it is true. Maybe it is not. But we don't lose anything. So there, you brought Covalonga seeds. Caraota cane, which is produced by them. The production of Caraota this year will break records. We are ready for the process, and it arrived the Caraota. I need a recommendation because I am going to move out there in Silita in a wooden house, so it is approved. Alejandro Pitoles, is it there? Alejandro, how are you doing? Come here, please. This is my pal from the 1980s, Alejandro Pitolvan. You look like in the old times. It's been 40 years we haven't met. You will see me. Yes, why? We will be talking later. Partner of chance and labor. So many paths in the 1980s when you worked on radio, and we met together at the Union of Fe Alegría there in Coche, and I went there. I always went there, and the Correa Fat was there, who was captured, or who was then working with the CIA, and he was a wicked man. That fat. He was a double standard man. He's not that steadfast. And let's see how these seats are. Let's see. With your excuse, this karaoke seems good. Do you dare to prepare for me a karaoke? Karaoke from Araira, historical land from which Ezequiel Zamora entered. So Venezuela is producing all their food, first time in 100 years or more. So there I went in Araira, and I saw a wall that was built with a little more than $10,000. They have been building in a month as the highways were falling. They built it on a record time, and so it is an equal wall. And in another place, a mayor built it in the municipality of Zamora, and Igualito built it in $120,000 in 6 months. 6 times more. So the people make things cheaper, prettier, with higher quality, and in less time. That's the system of government, of communal government. With the people, everything. Without the people, nothing. Communes, independence. Are you broadcasting? Are you seeing on social media? All right. Well, take attention to this. It's very important. I want precisely entering to the new era of socialism transition today on August 27 to make a remodeling of the national government and to complement, to settle a new team that allows us to move through all this time to this new transition era, to speed up and deepen the changes that the people needs along with the people to consolidate peace, to consolidate sovereignty and national independence, to consolidate dialogue and unity among all Venezuelans, because Venezuela is for all, and so to overcome the traces of hate and heal the hate of those who may have it. And so we are on the path of truth, of unity, of the comprehensive recovery of Venezuela. We are on that path. We are heading for the powerful Venezuela, because we, as prophecy said it from the Christian pastors, we are entering a new era, and they have come 7 miracles and blessing days that Venezuela wants: peace, joy, harmony, integrity. So then we have, in the first place, in the economic team, we are going to strengthen the economic changes. I want to analyze the partner Castro was in front of the agricultural sector, and now I am appointing General Fernandez as the new Minister of Productive Agriculture and Lands, a man that likes to walk on the countrysides, on the fields. And so let's review the agreements of the 2 farmers' congresses, and I have to fulfill with everything I was committed there. And so you have to discuss the agrarian reform policy within the framework of the revolution of agriculture. And one of the engines that I call is the engine, the secret weapon of Venezuela, which is tourism. I am appointing a woman with a big expertise. It is about a woman who is really who has experience on tourism, and the new Minister of Tourism. I appreciate the effort of former minister. Likewise, at the Ministry of Finance and External Commerce, it comes a young woman, and Anabel Pereira Fernandez, bachelor, and a new Minister of Finances and External Trade, to continue consolidating the team, the economic team, which is fundamental. Equally, I have asked Engineer Pedro Tellechea to take the post of industry and national production for profiting his capacity to recover the whole industry of Venezuela. He recovered Pequiven. He strengthened PDVSA, so we have to recover the industrial park that is in the hands of the government, Tellechea. So we are going to make associations to look for investments and there cannot be any industry without producing. So we have been holding a 40% of recovery of private industry. So to take the post of the Ministry of Oil, I have asked that Delcy Rodriguez take the post of the oil ministry, as she is well-known expert on this affair, and I have appointed Hector Obregon Bachelor, who has been the CEO, the leader of PDVSA, and so is now in charge of the industry of Venezuela. For him to, so if Venezuela is giving the national production of 1 million of oil barrels, and so we have to surpass that figure. So step by step we arrive further. We are building an economy not dependent on oil, but Venezuela has the largest oil reserve in the world, and no one can deprive us from it, of it. So Venezuela could never be deprived of the energetic breakthrough. So meanwhile we are just producing food and everything we need in the country without depending on the oil industry. You need some food, some potato, just you've got investments, everything produced in the Venezuelan land. Even I invited, I have already invited Joao Petro. I invited this MPC to come with its farmers to come here to Venezuela to produce with the communes. Well, MST sent me a brigade of 1,000 farmers to produce in Venezuelan land. Welcome, Brazilian people, here in the Venezuelan Revolution. I speak perfectly Portuguese, very well Portuguese. Likewise, the economic team, which a team in which I ratified the partners and to deepen their lines to come to the territory. 4,508 territories to partner Loyo and Hector Silva, Ministry of Mining the Development, Minister of Food, and Luis Villegas, Minister of National Trade. Villegas brought his bar. Well, like that, I congratulate you, Villegas, for going from neighborhood to neighborhood. Equally at the social level, we are also making some adjustments to strengthen the team in this new era, launched as a rocket. In the deepening and acceleration of the changes and transformations that Venezuela is fostering and is willing to be, and together we will build. Likewise, at the level of a social vice presidency, I am making some adjustment. It's been functioning the Ministry of Youth and Sport, as the youth is very important, We have launched a great mission for youth, and so it is outstanding to develop the sport movement. So I have decided to place the Ministry of Youth aside aside from the Ministry of Sports. So I have appointed a new young leader as Minister of Youth, a bachelor, Grecia Colmenares, leader of the Venezuelan youth from Táchira to Venezuela, new Minister of Youth. You know it, you knows it, we have talked a lot. 4,508 communal districts, circuits. So in each territory, it has to be a youth committee for the development of their projects. I was proposed that in the 4,508 territories, I was Prado and Naum proposed to me to raise, to approve a youth project, and we are going to do it from once and for all. And so we get advantage and install the 400 and 508 youth committee, base committees. Menendez, Diosdado, you must develop the concept, and you must develop reality too, Ariasa, the concept of a youth committee. So you can name it whatever you like, whatever you need, but you need to consolidate it. So it is a task that I want, with your strength, with your team, with your leaders, women and men. So take the lead in this. Don't rest even on a second. When I was your age, I didn't sleep, and today I sleep I also sleep little. When I have I just sleep on 7 hours. And so Capriles says, when I said that on that time, Capriles said, Maduro sleeps like a baby. And so there's a saying that your daughter suffers and cries for a driver. Capriles, don't suffer for a driver. So I am making some adjustments, and I am appointing a professor, a researcher, an athlete, and high athletes. Bachelor Arnaldo Sanchez, Minister of Popular Power for Sports. Armando, with your youth, prepare everything for the development of the sports movement. It is very important to broaden these sports, to train to see and to get those with qualities for sports in schools. And so in the whole 4,508 commune districts, how many athletes? I found out some boys there were cleaning in Paraíso. I stopped by there because it was the stoppage with my normal protection, and I stopped by the lights, and I talked to the boy. We are students, and as we are on vacation, we go out to the streets and earn some money. I prefer that you you will be doing exercise, and if you want to have some money, have an entrepreneurship, and they all were assisted, and they must have their projects. They're the boys. I'm not going to say from where, so I'm going to say the names: Johan Alexander, Wander Alexander, the other Abel, Jason Alexander, Jenile Jose, Juan Carlos, Jokenberg Orlando. And so I spoke to them, and one told me when he saw me, Maduro, I want to be a basketball player, and he is a good height, and he plays very well on basketball. So I want you personally to develop sports from the neighborhoods to the biggest sports in the country. So I thank partner Mervyn Maldonado, who have been holding great responsibilities, a youngster too, and he will have new important political tasks. I already talked to you. Be ready, please. So also on the social area, there I asked the people of Apure to allow me to bring a partner that have been a great minister of the people of the working class, to recover some areas, because Eduardo Piñates, that led the governorate of Apure and comes to the Ministry of Work. Likewise, the Ministry of Grandfathers and Grandmothers, there I am making the necessary adjustment. I appreciate Mortadela, I appreciate the former minister, and so Bachelor Magali Piña, she will take the post of Minister of Grandfathers and Grandmothers, and she will build the movement of grandparents from the basis. She's touring the neighborhoods. They are on the communes, on the communities, and I have, and so I forbidden. Well, it's an exaggeration, but I don't have offices in the communities. When you appoint a partner on the that likes to be on the street, and then on the 6 months, he that guy or that official doesn't come out of one says that authority, that leader is being rotten. So tremendous leader of a commune, and then a councillor, he stops being on the street. Why did this happen? They are just cocky, because the cocky who instead of turning into leaders, it boasts about his post or her post, and there are other cocky people who are sold out by the far right. So long live the people of Venezuela. Long live revolution. So let's see at the level of education. I want to thank partners, dear partners, I love you very much, Professor Yelicia Santella and Professor Sandra. Sandra comes back to the Bolivarian University of Venezuela with outstanding tasks, and Yelicia is going to rest a little bit, and then she will take some other missions. We give her 5 days to rest, and I have decided to appoint as a new minister of the Popular Power for Education and vice president of Hector Rodriguez Castro, and I asked the people of Miranda to borrow him. Hector is on a mission, that's why he is not here present. He is on a mission. He is a youngster, a very well prepared youngster, one of the good leaders that the Bolivarian Revolution has. He has done a great, he has fulfilled with a great mission in Miranda, and he is strong enough to improve Venezuelan education quantitatively and qualitatively. And you know what we have to do in education? We think that it is a special hour for making a great educative revolution, cultural revolution of values, to protect values and education, our children, our youngsters, ahead of the resounding and progression of these cell phones. This is an issue of the issues. I am not going to refer to this because it's endless. It's a big news over here. My proposal and proposals. Sorry. Right. No. President, on Sunday consultation, it was the response of our people to fascism and violence. When we build more democracy, more protagonist democracy, it would be less, fascism will be less. Right. Right. Well, and also the Ministry of University Education, in which there poses big challenges. We are giving 100% access to all college students. So those high school students have their access to university. It is a big achievement amid the conspiracy and the war being waged by the far right. We have to improve the quality of those majors there. We are beginning to mull over the plan of all those majors to train nurses, doctors, engineers, those professions that the country needs, because almost every student wanted to study law and administration. So we are going to urge the students to study the leading majors for humanity, for the country. So we have to improve the quality of education in a synergy with universities, with all domestic universities that we are recovering, every one of them. This girl that it is a university professor was in charge of recovering the high studies, and today it is better than when it was founded. Marcos Pérez Jiménez founded that university. So be upset for never mind those who are upset about this good news. And so I am going to appoint a youth leader, a professional leader, and leader of the youth, the partner Ricardo Sanchez. I am appointing him as a new Minister of Education. He joined the Bolivarian forces, and he tirelessly. He is always on the streets, every day, on a square, on an avenue, on a city. Zero office room. You can go to the office room from 7 to 9 a.m. and then you go to a university consultation proposal. Each minister have to act like this, and that is the social team integrated. And I have ratified Angel Prado, Minister of the Peoples, Minister of Communes, Angel Prados, Minister of Communes and Social Movement, Angel Prados, and Minister Prado. It's only a month in his post. 2 months, President. 2 months, 3 days and 4 hours in the post. But also, I want to add to his work and responsibilities what's been functioning with the Ministry of Urban Agriculture. So the whole team and the whole work to develop by the Ministry of Urban Agriculture will be added to the Ministry of Communes and Social Movements. And so the whole ministries will be functioning in a single plan. So the team, Joanna, must join you, right? And the minister, partner Joanna Carrillo, youth leader, youngster leader, I asked her to be in charge of the Ministry of Popular Power of the Development of Women. I appreciate the former minister for her tasks. So it is a team that combines youth, professionalism, experience, popular vocation on the streets. It is a complete team. Vice President Hector Rodriguez and Minister of Education Hector Rodriguez, Sports Arnaldo Sanchez, Communes Angel Prados, Work Piñate, Women Joana Carrillo, Indigenous People Clara Vidal, Grandparents Gary Viña, and University Education Ricardo Sanchez. Right? Well, in the field of sectorial vice president and vice presidency on sovereignty, I ratified Vladimir Padrino Lopez as top unity of the Bolivarian Armed Forces, top unity of civic and military police unity. And so I ratified the Foreign Ministry of the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela, Professor Ivan Gil Pinto. Likewise, at the level of the sector presidency of politics and citizen security, I have decided to join an expert as a new Minister of Popular Power of Justice and Peace for the citizen security and peace. The politics and peace, it's about the Bolivarian captain Diosdado Cabello Rondon, new minister of the popular power of justice and peace and vice president of government. Peace, peace, and peace. Communes or nothing. But there were some concerns if he was continuing with the maize. Who agree with the maize program? Do we call off the maize? The hammer? Well, I really appreciate the work of Lieutenant General Emilio Ceballo, who have had a military career, institutional revolutionary career, which has been an example, and in these 3 years have deepened peace. Even Donald Trump recognizes that Venezuela is the most secure country of the continent. So even Donald Trump recognizes, even he said that if he loses elections, he will come to Caracas. There are beautiful places here. There are some apartments in Chula Vista, Donald Trump, there in Mercedes. Do you know well that area? You can come here. Donald Trump could come here to enjoy peace and security in Venezuela. Well, Diosdado, if someone likes to be with the people and to walk with the people, is Diosdado Cabello. So, Diosdado, give me a greeting, Diosdado. President, thank you very much for your trust, and I have to clarify that I know it from before. Yes, President, the Bolivarian Revolution has the leaders for the different posts, and in this case, when the homeland calls, we are ready, along with the people, on the track of Commander Chavez. 22 years later, 22 years ago, I was Minister of Interior and Justice amid the uprisings, the guarimbas. 24/7, we have those opposing legislators. Let's recall those night marches held by these opposing sectors. They closed up the streets and persecuted our people, and we were on that battle along with President Chavez, and we defeated them at that moment. I think that Venezuela is going on the track of peace, of definite peace, with a peace of justice, in which the people feels that those who acted against constitution and law, the justice be applied on time, and fair justice. So I am at your service, President, a soldier of the revolution, a soldier of yours, united on battle. Well, because the big experience of peace that have been built, we have to focus on the peace of the 4,508 communal units. And so there's a disrupted place with peace, and we have to fulfill peace on that territory with the government and the people. Diosdado brings luck, because in that conspiracy era, Diosdado helped Commander Chavez to consolidate peace from 2004 to when they made up that Warimba, that uprisings. And so Diosdado knows a lot about justice, about peace, and he's leading these missions, and he's going to be Minister of Interior and Justice and Peace. That's there. Martin has an information, that a new information. So I ratify the youngster, lately appointed revolutionary leader Julio Garcia Arpa, Minister of the penal system. On due time, he arrived, and he is providing order for a new regime, for a new structure. And it is a troublesome affair, because the conspiracy developed by Leopoldo Lopez from Spain and Gilbert Caro, as evidence came out, they have as epicenters some prisons for inmates to come out and to deliver them weapons for breaking out, for outbursting a war, as IT is dealing with and other countries. So reorganization and construction of the new structure of discipline, of penal discipline grounded on peace, on justice. So ratifying the Minister Coronado as Minister of the Presidency of the Republic, to partner Naum Fernandez as Head of Government of Caracas, and the same Minister Coronado to be in front of the Directorate of Miranda, but he lost his joy because it was a different place. It was in the Rockies, and there he had an office in the Playas. So Vice President of Public Works, I am appointing a new Minister for Waters, and it is about the engineer Carlos Mat Justi, new Minister of Popular Power for Waters, with experience. This youngster that I was calling at 3 a.m. at 1 a.m. and he was on the neighborhoods. There I have it, and 22% of the projects that won on Sunday are the comprehensive management of waters. The biggest quantity of reports, it's about water. So we have a great work ahead of us, and we are responding, and we are going to build up the technological capacities, the industrial capacities to produce everything in Venezuela what has to do with water engines, and we need that nothing fails, and so let's go to 100 quality service. So to the Ministry of Popular Power for housing, in the plan of 3 million houses we are building, and we are going to build along with the communal power. I am appointing a big man who likes to walk on the streets, General Raúl Paredes, to unify the great mission to take the lead on the mission of of new neighborhood and tricolor neighborhood. So orientations are already given to do more with less to improve what we have and to begin within the construction of new houses, of new households that respond to a new architecture and a new vision. And this is possible today. Summoned engineers, architects, men and women from the people to innovate 3 million beautiful houses within a more beautiful and productive environment. And the Ministry of Public Works, which has lots of tasks in the rehabilitation of spaces, I am appointing a youngster engineer, civil engineer, Juan Jose Ramirez, to take the responsibility of the Ministry of Popular Power of Public Works, and I am ratifying the new Minister of Electricity, Jorge Marquez, who will be Vice President of Public Works and Services, and Velázquez Araguayan, Minister of Transportation and the greenest and the ecologist Puerta for and so a young team of honest people in the Vice Presidency of Public Works and Services. You have a good team, and we are going to restructure and to transform everything based on the territory. We have to change the concepts of ministries, and in all ministries we are going to transform that, and we are going to restructure the state, the methods, the ways of functioning. I am already giving the steps, and so Bill, I thank Marcos Torres all his efforts and work. Likewise, to all partners who are delivering their responsibilities, and I ratified as Vice President of Science and Technology and Researcher Scientist Gabriela Jimenez, and as Minister of Health Dr. Magalis Gutierrez. I ratified as Minister of Planning Ricardo Menester. He's a communal minister. He's on there 24/7. He sent me 10 briefings of the solution maps. That planning ministry is ready for the new stage because it's articulated to the communes, to the territory. So I have big hopes on you. I am expecting lots of proposals from you, from deepening. So from that range of vice presidents of government for planning, and at the level of culture, I am ratifying an outstanding partner, Ernesto, the Benjamin Minister for Culture, and long live Venezuela, my dear homeland, with your love dedicated to this task, and as Minister of Communications and Information, Vice President of Government for Communications and Culture, the poet of the people, Alfred Nazaret Nange, philosopher and popular poet. An integrated team, reunified team, a strengthened team to advance in all lines and fronts of battle fronts, to not fail, and to go to the big stage of transition for socialism, to walk along the people always. to walk and push the changes and transformations that we can only make. We can only guarantee the peace of this country. We can only guarantee the independence and integrity of Venezuela. We can guarantee the deepening unity, military civic unity, more revolution, more profound revolution, and to disrupt any element of inconformity, or to overcome those elements and to move towards welfare, equity. We have lots of tasks. We are facing in this stage a coup d'etat. I recommend this book for you to discover so many things. A book reading, and I have published on social media. You can download it from there. Look it up and you will find it on social media, on my social media. Fascism, my stream, which is written by a Spanish thinker. Mainstream fascism, written in 2020, and so he described the coup d'etats attempted against Venezuela. A coup d'etat that has been attempting today. It is against the whole state to disregard the public powers, constitutional and legitimate powers, to disregard laws, about because this person who is leading this coup d'etat in a cave, hiding, and who is leading in a cave, cowardly. He disregards the electoral power. He disregards the judicial power, and so he commits contempt of court for the prosecutor's office. He is above the laws and constitutions. He thinks to be above the constitution and the laws, and so those Nazis, Franquis, Pinochet followers believe so. They believe to be above laws, constitutions, powers. So a person that thinks to be over public powers, who from you that well, if I am summoned to a court and I said I don't recognize the court, that's contempt of the court in all the laws of the world. And for example, if we have a company, and then if you have 55% of the assets and I have the 45%, and out of the blue I said, well, I have the 65%. You tell me, wait a minute, that how come? So here I have all the documents. I am owning all the assets. I have the 65%. But when did that happen? What could you do to grab a weapon? How can this be solved in modern society? There are laws. That's why they intended to grab weapons with criminals and settle this on a war, killing people. So how many people they would persecute and kill? Are they trained to govern Venezuela? Let's be honest. And then you come and go to a court. Then Venezuela accepted the file, and then the justices summoned Nicolás Maduro to appear with their affidavits for the company, and Nicolás Maduro said I don't recognize you justices. Is this president could be above the justices and law? That's what this coward criminals sir is doing. That in El Salvador he killed religious people with the team of death, Mr. Edmundo Gonzalez Urrutia, who is hiding in a cave, who haven't shown up even to his followers. No one is above the laws of the constituents powers and constitution. In Venezuela there's going to be justice, and we are going to throw toward a state of justice. We'll be defeating fascism with the law and constitution. Let's make changes. Long live our beloved Venezuela. Long live peace and long live future. Always onward to victory. Thank you very much.
Venezuela, we were seeing him live as he held a meeting with spokesperson, authorities, and all members of the government of Venezuela, the Communes, to offer a balance for the Second Popular Consultation at first. This August 25th, a consultation that was held throughout the country, where each community organizing communal councils voted to choose a priority project to be executed in their localities. The president explained the need to establish stronger popular governance structures that comply with the legacy of the historic leader of the Bolivarian Revolution, Hugo Chavez. Furthermore, President Maduro announced that multiple working sessions of communal assemblies will be held to have meetings with grassroots, families, and the population in general. Finally, the Venezuelan head of state took the opportunity to announce his new government cabinet with key changes to continue strengthening Venezuelan democracy and the work of the institutions in the recovery of the nation and the path of prosperity and peace. This all comes in the context as the Venezuelan government is trying to develop in a new way, in a new stage, as was described by the President Nicolás Maduro, to change the way government is run, to be a government of the people, for the people, from the streets, as he has been calling all the new ministers that he appointed in his change of government, to go to the streets, to be with the people, to listen to the people, and to work with the people to continue recovering all the socio-economic structure of the nation, of the production of the nation, to continue thriving the economy of the nation, and to continue building a Venezuela of peace and prosperity for everyone that is born in the homeland of Bolivar. Some of the key changes that President Maduro announced in his cabinet, for example, we have the case of the Ministry of Agriculture, that now the new minister is going to be Henry Fernandez, is going to be the new Minister of Agriculture. In tourism, Leticia Gomez is going to be the new minister. And also another important key change that he announced, has seen that is very important for the development of Venezuela, the youth of the nation. Before, Venezuela had a Minister of Youth and Sports, and now he announced that both ministries will be apart. And in the case of sports, it's going to be Arnaldo Sanchez, and in the case of youth, Grecia Colmenares. Those were the latest news coming from Caracas. Stay tuned with teleSUR English for more updates in upcoming news briefs.